What are 7 trade jobs that pay way more than people expect? I'm talking about the trades a lot these days because we need.
All right, what are 7 trade jobs that pay way more than, what people think? The Honest Carpenter, his YouTube channel, he's great, got a lot of great content. If you're a carpenter or want to become a carpenter, maybe do-it-yourself things at home, his channel is great. I'll have his channel link in the description below so you can check out and learn from this guy. But let's see what 7 trade jobs are the best paying for 2023.
Because we need the trades. We rely on the trades. And yet we're seeing fewer and fewer people jumping into the trade labor pool each year. And I think one of the central problems is that many people believe that you just can't make money in the trades. But this list proves them wrong because these jobs and wages are based on national averages earned within just 3 years of starting these careers. I pulled these numbers from a jobs report by Blue Recruit, whose State of the Trades report is so good, it's used internally by Zillow. Furthermore, Blue Recruit's mission statement is so close to my own that I've actually handpicked them to be my first sponsor. I did this because I truly believe that Blue Recruit is doing an amazing service in the world, which is connecting people with trade jobs. And they've done this by designing an ultra-simple job recruiting app that's built solely for the trades. We have a serious problem these days with even just moving people into these jobs. Folks don't know where to look for them, and businesses don't know where to find willing workers. Indeed and ZipRecruiter do not work for the trades. They just don't. They don't represent us, they don't prioritize us, and their features don't fit the skills of people who work with their hands. But Blue Recruit only serves the trades, and with 25,000 tradespeople currently signed up, they're already making a massive impact on this trade labor shortage. So if you're thinking about entering the trades or switching careers in the trades, please stick around to find out more about Blue Recruit later in this video. But right now, let's get into the list. 7 trade jobs that pay way more than you'd expect. That's coming up next on The Honest Carpenter Show. High-paying trade job number 1 is solar installer. Solar installation is an industry that spans the nation now, all the way from Texas and Massachusetts clear out to Hawaii. Sort of a combination of roofing and electrical work, it's a strong niche trade that I think can be learned quickly, thereby increasing pay fast. You do need a decent tolerance for heights to install solar, and you can't be afraid of slightly techie subjects. But often a good high school diploma and some trade school training is all that it takes to get started on a good money-making path. And how much can you make? According to Blue Recruit's metrics, a 3-year solar installer in a good company is looking at about $32 hourly or just over $67,000 annually. Great money for a 21, 22-year-old jumping in with no college debt. And
Great point there is a 21, 22-year-old jumping with no college debt, making that kind of money, and you're getting experience, working in a trade. So where you're learning skills and things that are going to help you maybe if you want to go down a different pathway. This is a great thing about the trades is you can get in with just a diploma and probably a driver's license, and you can get skills, you can get experience, and you get educated on different trade pathways because installing solar just isn't for you. Well, you just try something else out because most trades need people and you just try something else out.
In a similar vein, high-paying trade job number 2 is Mechatronics. Mechatronics is sort of a fancy catch-all term that now encompasses a whole burgeoning industry. For instance, jobs in mechatronics may include CNC and machine operation, robotics operation, control systems design, and all sorts of hands-on electromechanical work. It's no wonder this is such a growing trade. Just look at our high-tech factories and shipping logistics companies where so many physical tasks are now automated. Someone has to help design and physically build these robotic systems, and that's what mechatronic techs do. And amazingly, this is still a job that you can still learn at the trade school level and then jump right into the field. It does have a steep learning curve for some applications, but relative newcomers can often expect as much as $29 an hour, which is almost $60,000 a year. And 5 really focused years in mechatronics can quickly slide you up to that coveted $100,000 a year range. And from there, as the field progresses, who knows? So if you're one of those people who loves being hands-on but also geeks out about tech applications, this field can be an endless source of creativity and money. Now, looking back at more classics.
So this is I haven't really heard of this, this trade job, but this is great for those of you who are younger, who are in high school, or you're good with your hands and you're smart, you like working with little tech things like that, we're going to need you guys also in the trades. Like this guy's saying, working with robotics and things like that. Like, I don't know nothing about that. But if you are into that kind of stuff and you don't plan on going to college, here's a great opportunity for you, because regardless, we're going to need you guys in the trade as well to do these kinds of things.
Our classic skill sets, high-paying trade job number 3 is plumber. It's hard to think of a career that gets more maligned than plumbing, but it's also hard to think of a trade that has made many of my associates so much richer than me. Yes, plumbing can be hard work. You're in crawl spaces a lot and ditches. You have to get your hands dirty. But if you're in a decent market with a good company, you will get paid. Blue Recruit puts the average 3-year salary now at $30 per hour, which is over $62,000 a year. And I struggle to think of a job that has such an unlimited high end if you play your cards right. Just look at my pal Aaron Gaynor in Columbus, Ohio, who turned his small plumbing operation, Eco Plumbers, into a multi-million-dollar company. People will always need their plumbing fixed, and they'll pay a competent pro really well to do it. High-paying trade job number 4 is one you may never think of, but is super interesting. Elevator technician. This technically encompasses installation and maintenance of elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. But anyway, you cut.
So becoming an elevator tech, there's a union and stuff for that. I'm from Washington, and up in Seattle, I just know a couple people who they were elevator techs, and it's a very niche, very small trade. So you can get into it, you can make a lot of money. I know these guys are making, I can't say a number for sure, but they're clearing 6 figures easy every year. But really, the only way it's lucrative to be an elevator tech is if you live and work in a big city like Seattle or Portland or New York, where there's high risers, where there's elevators. That's where elevator techs are needed. And if you work in a big city like that, I know you can make a lot of money, but it's a very small niche trade to get into. So from my understanding, it's not the easiest, but hey, if it's something that interests you, give it a shot. But that's from my understanding and my knowledge and from people that I've talked to.
But anyway you cut it, this is an awesome niche career. Highly specialized trades like this often pay well. And Blue Recruit has the 3-year average at almost $40 an hour for an annual salary of about $82,000. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics has the full national median at a whopping $97,000 per year. Which leads me to believe that not only do people get paid really well to do this early on, but a lot of people also keep doing it over the years. The work itself seems close to Mechatronics, with an understanding of control systems, electrical systems, and motor mechanics. But it also seems to me like it would be really fun to just tinker with this equipment and keep it running well. High-paying trade job number 5 is another classic, and it's basically a two-way tie between HVAC tech and electrician. Blue Recruit has the 3-year average for both pinned right at about $71,000 a year, or roughly $34 per hour, which is really good third-year money. But in recent years, HVAC especially seems to have taken a slight edge in earnings. And I think this advantage may have to do with the fact that, for now, not quite as many people seem to pick it for a career. So a scarcity in the hiring pool has led to increasingly better pay. In some cases, that pay increase is mind-boggling. For instance, my hometown of Raleigh, North Carolina, I've known independent HVAC pros who could charge up to $180 an hour for certain tasks and consistently get it. That's crazy money. And I know a lot of electricians who do almost as well. Similar to plumbing, these are root trades that will never go out of style. So I think you can't go wrong looking into them. High-paying trade job number 6.
I think the three trade jobs that, will never go away and you'll almost always have a job are electrician, plumbers, and HVAC techs. Especially for residential. Like if you want to stay at home and work at home and get a job locally, look to become an electrician, an HVAC tech, or a plumber. Those 3 are needed in residential, commercial, and industrial across the board. So those are 3 highly respected. You can make great money, great careers in those 3 trades.
Trade job number 6 is a fun, rough and dirty trade. Heavy equipment mechanic. There are a lot of avenues to pursue here. Heavy equipment mechanics may work with diesel engines alone, or they may specialize in farm equipment, tractors, or heavy earth movers. They might operate out in the field, or work in large factory settings. They may even work in fully marine environments. And their skills can range from small-scale electrical repair to industrial-grade welding. In short, there are hundreds of specialties in this field, and many of them are high-paying. Blue Recruit estimates the average 3-year salary to be $40 an hour or $84,000 a year. And these jobs have a lot of high-end growth beyond that. I have a friend whose father was a mobile equipment mechanic, and he was making around $150,000 a year from the late 90s onwards. So he could finance a very comfortable life for his family in Kentucky. One thing I'll say is that this job is very state-oriented.
150K a year in Kentucky is going to go far. That's really great money. So heavy equipment operator or mechanic, I mean, that's another job that you can get a job anywhere. I know in the lineman industry, we have mobile mechanics are a big thing for us because we're not only just working in like a factory or in one location. So we got to have mobile mechanics because we're working an hour south of where our shop's at or whatever the case may be, and our doggone tire pops or something's going on with the boom truck or the digger derrick. Something's going on. Well, we call the mechanic. He takes his mechanic truck, drives down to us, figures out what the problem is, fixes the problem, and then, that's his job. And they get paid.
Obviously, you need to be in the sort of place where a lot of heavy equipment is being used constantly, and you might need to be able to travel to job sites on short notice. That's just part of the gig, so keep it in mind. And the number 7 high-paying trade job on our list is fire service inspector, a trade focused 100% on safety. Fire service inspectors examine structures to ensure that they meet local, state, and national fire codes. It's a position that was heavily codified in the late 90s and has become ubiquitous in all types of construction and development. Kind of an interesting job, fire service inspector is part field work, part office application. It can involve climbing over structures, testing electrical and plumbing systems, and meeting clients to review building plans. Many fire service inspectors come out of firefighting, as you would expect, so it can help to have that background. But there are also training certification programs that can help give you a leg up in the hiring process. Earnings can vary by state, but Blue Recruit reports a current national average of $44 per hour or $92,000 a year, which basically tops this list. While it may not have an extremely high ceiling beyond that, it does seem to promise a solid, dependable profession that also helps save lives every year. Those are our 7 trade jobs that pay way more than you'd expect.
So yeah, out of those 7 trade jobs, that's a very broad spectrum of trades. Of course, there's hundreds of trades out there that pay a lot of money, like obviously lineman wasn't included in that one. Iron workers, there's a lot of trades out there that obviously he didn't list that make more money than these in any year, not just in 2023. But yeah, this was a cool list of trade jobs that a lot of them might even really think about, right? HVAC, electrician, and plumber are 3 big main ones that, of course, everyone can think of. But these other ones are great. So awesome list here. I also think that a lot of this list where he, said that they make $32 an hour, and then $60K annually. Sure, that is a base pay, but is that based on, that's an average, a national average, right? It all depends on what state you work in, what city you're working in. It varies completely coast to coast. If you live and work in California, you're going to make more money because the cost of living and everything in California is more, so labor wages have to be higher. So otherwise they won't get employees. You're not getting paid $15 an hour to be an electrician. It's just, you can't live off that. So you're going to be getting paid more in California because it costs more to live versus maybe you live in Kentucky or West Virginia or somewhere like that where the cost of living is lower, the pay scales are going to be a little bit lower. So these numbers are average across the nation. I don't know that these numbers would include overtime. Now, of course, you start getting overtime if you're an electrician, an HVAC tech, a plumber, overtime I feel like is a big thing in a lot of trades that people don't really think about. They look at that national salary average or that national average of, they make $70,000 a year. Well, that's just base pay. You got to include overtime, call outs, things like that, where that 70K could turn into 80, 90, 100K, just depending on how much you want to work or you can work. And if you want to travel and things like that, there's just a lot of variables included to how much money can you really make. Well, what it comes down to is how much do you want to work? Because a lot of these trades, if you want to work and you don't care to bust your butt and just work all kinds of hours, I know you can make a lot of money, especially in trades like the lineman trade. If you just want to work 7 days a week, you probably can, and you're going to make $300K a year. Fairly easy. So that was a great list of trades. So check out the Honors Carpenter. I'll have a link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, with Blueprint, we're here to expose, teach, and educate you about blue-collar careers. And if they interest you, check out our website. We got a bunch of cool information on there as well. I'll have links in the description. And I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.